Hi, welcome to the box room. Today we'll be making the first iteration of the world map for our game Feed All Monsters.
But wait, what is Feed All Monsters? Feed All Monsters is a line puzzle game that started out looking like this, and then over the course of 1 year, we slowly refined it, changed all the art, and finally made a demo that has 10 levels in 2 settings and some basic animations and sounds. The final game, however, will have 6 settings, and in order for the player to be able to access all of them, we need a world map.
In order to get everything started, Joseph made a little design document just writing down what you will need and like how the world map should function. And I'm gonna sit down right now and make some, just do some basic sketching of how it will look.
My plan is basically to take the 6 settings and make a really rough layout, making them all fit on one map. I'm also trying to keep each island silhouette unique, making some chunkier and some just a collection of separated mini islands. Then I take that sketch and bring it into Photoshop. The first thing I do is grab the grass and cliff color from the tile sets and then add them to the island. Afterwards, I tweak the shapes and the sizes and then just add some detail like trees and waterfalls. Lastly, I didn't like the blue gradient behind the islands, so I tried giving each island its own sky color with this kind of cloud pattern, which kind of worked, but I'll probably change it later.
This is the layout that I've decided to go with for now. I'm gonna cut it up into smaller bits so we can put it in Gamemaker and use it as a world map.
And now behold! Yeah, this is literally what I sent our programmer Uzia as the mock-up. The black thing is when our circle transition plays, and this is kind of how I wanted the second setting to be unlocked. Path showing up, color switching, marker bouncing, I know, really exciting stuff. Afterwards I save out the graphics and implement them into Gamemaker.
Genau, da haben wir in dem Prototype Sounds 13 Monster Munch. It's the afternoon now, and today we have spoken with our friend Philip, who's gonna do the sound design for us. We've prioritized the sounds that we definitely need and that we don't have yet, and then I think the 2 days after we're gonna work on what Diana and Marcel are gonna need for animation.
Wait, you might be saying, who are those people? I recorded a segment where I explained that we commissioned some of our friends to help with just various aspects of the game. And there was just no point in the video where I could have inserted this. So here it is.
We hired our friend Philip for sound. We hired our friend Marcel for the monster animations. I'm talking to my friend Diana at the moment for frame-by-frame character animations.
So yeah, back to the video.
I want to send both of them something by Monday. For the monsters, Joseph will need to build the assets in Affinity Designer so that Marcel has everything on layers. And for Diana, I'm gonna need to figure out what kind of animations we even need. Lots of things to do.
At this point, we had concepts for 6 different monsters. However, we originally planned to have 8. So now it was finally time to sketch number 7, the ghost, and give them a sad pose, a happy pose, and a feed me! Same goes for the little bat, which also needs all 3 expressions, plus the idle pose, which you can already see in the back of the sketches. And now we get to the really fun part. The slime was the only enemy I had previously made animations for in Adobe Premiere. which you of course know because you watched all the previous devlogs. But for consistency's sake, we had Marcel redo the animations in After Effects and save out all of the frames for all the different colors that the slime was gonna have. And since that monster shows up in every setting, I just recolored each slime to fit the vibe of their respective environment. Then it was time to show Marcel the game he was gonna have to animate for. He was especially fond of the puzzles.
Scheiße.
Afterwards, I made a briefing for Diana. This mostly included descriptions of the characters, animation examples of animations that I had done, and reference material from other games.
So just to kind of give a quick recap of where the project's at. Miku, who does the music for us, he is doing the boss music at the moment. So like for all the sound effects, our friend Philip is going to help us, and he started this week. So he's already sent over a couple of sounds, which I'm very excited about. Animation. Diana is going to draw a bunch of frames for us, which I'm very, very excited about as well. She can just put so much character in one drawing, it's great. I think she's gonna do like a bunch of sketches for the throwing pan and for the item, equip an item. So hopefully these are the next things that we can implement. And then lastly, oh yeah, Marcel, we're just gonna, Joseph and me have to prepare all of the monster graphics with all of the skins. And then we'll send that to him, he's gonna animate them. And that takes care of all the monsters, which, oh my god. That is like just sound and animations is just such a huge chunk of work. And like, yes, we lost last week trying to get all the assets ready and brief everyone, but like starting this week, it could just work out the game. Last update. Today we've gotten the email that we got accepted for Wholesome Direct. So our game is going to be in the Wholesome Direct showcase that is happening sometime in June, July, May, I don't know. That is very exciting, but that also means that we need 30 seconds of brand new game footage. Gotta go, I have to do tile sets, bye!
I know the premise of this video was, hey, we're making the world map today. Yeah, remember that? Remember when that was a thing? But this is how game development is, at least for me. While Yuzia is working on the world map and like taking all of my graphics, implementing them and like making it functional, I can't really work on it. I can't do anything. And because now we need a cool trailer for Wholesome Direct, I wanted to show some levels from the latest settings. So now my priorities just shift, and because in order to show the later settings, I need to work on the tile sets. So I pretty much just worked on tile sets for 2 days.
Alrighty, I pretty much spent all day working on the tile sets. I have the first 4 settings up to a point where we can use the tile sets to make levels. So I'm gonna take a break for now and just enjoy the weekend. And then on Monday, I want to finish the 5th tile set and then also start with some level art. We need to get shit done for the trailer. It is Monday again. We have this week to finish a 30-second trailer with new stuff, and we have no idea what that stuff's gonna be. This morning we got the new build that has the level map implemented. I already played it and it still needs some polish. But I think if we switch out the graphics, we might get some like cool trailer footage. What else? Yes, my kind of plan is to have a shot where the slime like bounces and it kind of goes through the 6 settings. So hopefully we have the assets for that, because we haven't really shown setting 3 to 6 tile sets. Yes. So I'm working on tile set number 5 and number 6. I don't think I can get 6 ready in time, but I think I can get 1 to 5 ready so we can get some cool trailer footage. Oh yes, more animations. Diana finished the sketches for the item pose when the characters are using items. That is something new that we can reveal. Yeah, and then the last one is just the throwing pan. Which I'm just personally excited for, to just have a sprite in the game. Oh shit, if we reveal items, then I maybe also need to swap out the graphics for that. Fuck.
Das heißt, man würde da schon das sehen, dieses...
Genau, also wenn
das ist ein smooth
Ding. Das ist schon nice.
Oopsie.
Now that Joseph was awake and we had both seen the new changes, it was time to make a plan for the trailer.
Level Map, wir haben die Items, diese Show Item Pose. Items. Wir hätten theoretisch die Throwing Pan, weil da würden wir die Posen auch noch kriegen heute oder morgen. Okay, das klingt doch nach einem Plan. Dann mache ich jetzt die Item-Grafiken und die 2 Teilsets erstmal fertig, dass sie präsentabel sind.
Next up, I wanted to implement all the frames Marcel had sent us. However, we told him to make them in double the size that we needed. And I think that was so we would have some wiggle room when sizing them down. I don't remember why we did this, but I now needed to size down over 100 individual frames, one by one.
Yes.
After that, all the slimes had made it safely into the game. Now it was finally time to bring setting 5 and 6 into a state where we could at least use it to make level art.
I finished setting 6 today as well, which I didn't think I would get done. I'm gonna enjoy the evening now. Tomorrow we can just take everything, implement it. That's the plan for tomorrow. Alright, good morning. It's the next day. Yesterday I finished the tile set, and today I will try and finish the world map. Just to give you a quick recap, this is what the world map looks like at the moment. For each setting there's this background sprite, and then we have like the floating islands on top, and we have those with an outline and with no outline, and the outline kind of appears when you hover over the graphic. So that is something that I want to work on today, and I still don't quite know how I want the whole thing to look. So yeah, the first step is to just gather a bunch of references and just try and figure it out. Alrighty, so I've gathered my references. These down here are like way more stylized. And then these are like your typical mobile gamey maps. And then what I like about this one is how it has these different lighting, almost like weather scenarios. And it just fades really nicely between the settings. So that is something that I'm struggling with my map at the moment. Because most of these take part on an ocean. So you just have the same blue color all around, but with the map that I currently have, we kind of have something like we have up here, where there's different backgrounds because the sky is different in each region. Like in the ruins there is a night sky, and then in the meadows there is like just daylight. So I might want to do something like this here, where it's just way more stylized. I also really like this example. So I'm probably just gonna do some sketching to try and figure this out with the tech that we have currently implemented, and then yeah. I didn't really know how I wanted to stylize the islands. In the concept that I had done previously, I kind of just had them as like square blobs like they were in the levels, but for the world map I had the opportunity to just show the terrain. So I wasn't really sure if that would look off or if it would enrich the world, so to speak. I'm gonna go get Joseph for help. I need a second pair of eyes. Alright, so I got some feedback from Joseph. He says he thinks this one will work the best. And that kind of correlates to this one and this type of stylization. So I'm not going to do any perspective, but I also don't want to keep the islands like completely square. Yeah, so I'm gonna do some more sketching and find some more references of this type. Instead of just keeping the islands as square, I added some little bits and cut off some corners to make them seem more organic. Then I took some of those diagonals and corners and made them round. And the remaining ones I just cut at a 45-degree angle. This, in my opinion, just makes the islands visually more interesting without adding too many new shapes. Next up, I added an outline to mimic the light grass at the edges of each level. As for the ground, I use the cliff color and then add some shadows on every diagonal facing the left and a lighter color to all facing right. To blend the islands into the background, I utilized a thick outline that slowly faded out to kind of keep the graphic designy look. And adding some clouds, and we're done! Once I was happy with this approach, I needed to see how it would look on all the islands. And here they are. Let's do the outline blend for all of them to get a feeling for how the background would look. Lastly, I made a bunch of little details like palm trees, rocks, and houses based on the assets from the tile set. Once these were all placed, this is what the world map looked like. And this is how it looks when it's not fully unlocked, and I really like the silhouettes now since they don't really spoil a lot of things. It's the next day, it's still super early. We made a ton of progress on the level map yesterday. So basically the sketch is finished. It still needs a lot of work, but it is in the state where Joseph can start working on it and build it in Affinity Designer. So I think he's gonna do that today. And then we also, yesterday we got the sprites for a use item from Diana. So we need to figure out how that's gonna look in-game and let Uzia know to implement them. Today is probably gonna be a bit chaotic because we also have to do client stuff. I'm just happy if we can get the level map finished today. So that's the plan.
To start the day off with a small win, I made a quick mock-up for the item pose and showed Uzia where the item icon should spawn. Then I scaled down the new item icons so that I could implement them in Gamemaker. All was going well until I noticed something.
Today is probably gonna be a bit chaotic.
We were working in different Gamemaker versions, and for some reason a bunch of sprites were affected by the red X of doom. And I had to manually go through all of them and re-import the ones that broke. Then I remembered that all our items actually need 2 frames, one for active and one if they're grayed out. So I made those super quickly. And finally, I could go into one of the levels and plop the item into a slot.
Success! Okay, so today was just very chaotic, but we got the majority of things done that we wanted to do. Joseph's still working on the world map, that's what it's called. So I'm probably gonna finish the 6 levels that we need for the trailer. Or I'm working on the food bus.
I started by making a bunch of different sketches to kind of feel out all the ideas that I had gotten from my references. The food bus should feel slightly fantasy, but mostly modern. Next up, some color. And then I combined my favorite balloon with my favorite bus and start making some color variations. All of them needed to stand out on the world map background so the player can easily find the ship. I nixed the middle color variation since the turquoise really wasn't helping, and from the 2 remaining ships I combined the colors that were working well. These 3 I showed to Joseph to get a second opinion. In the end, I built a cleaner version of the food bus, since the darker outlines were kind of skewing both of our judgment. I just built one of the ships since the shapes were set, and then just recolored that so we could see the other color palette. In the end, this is the version that we went with.
Good morning. It is Thursday today. Yes, I feel like shit today. I couldn't really sleep until 4:30. But anyway, I'm awake now. I've had my coffee. Joseph is getting me some breakfast. Game development. Joseph's gonna wrap up some sprites and put them in engine today, and
I really just animated the food bus that day and built a cleaned up version of the level map with the assets that Joseph had made.
Wow!
it's almost 1 p.m. I've spent all morning just implementing the graphics for the level map, and it's just like small stuff that takes a lot of time. These collisions, because, wait, this is a good example, like the islands have a lot of empty space, it wouldn't register if your mouse was in this gap. So I changed all of the collisions to these ellipses, which just feels a lot nicer. But I have to stop myself now because I just wanted to implement the graphics and now I'm already like fine-tuning things, and that's not what I should be doing right now. My plan is to design the levels now because we will need those for the trailer, and if it all goes well, we'll have the different slime sprites implemented today or tomorrow. So then we can actually see the slimes in the settings. So I need to search for 6 different levels from all of the 6 settings and then just make some level art. Yozia's been working on a testing branch while I've been working on the main branch. I wasn't even aware that we had 2 branches. And neither of us understand branches at this point. Like, this is the first project that we're doing with Git. Before we had just zipped up the project and sent it to the other person. So we said, okay, if we only have 1 main branch, there can't be any conflicts. But now we have 2 branches. And yeah, so I'm gonna make lunch now. It's pretty hard to get in the zone and just work on the level art while on my second monitor we're trying to figure out this Git situation. So I think I'm just gonna let it rest for half an hour. Joseph already started cooking, so I'm gonna join him now and then yeah, trying to resolve this in 30 minutes or so. Okay. Right, so Yozia's version is on the testing branch at the moment, and he made the branch last night. So all of the changes that I did today don't count. But it's okay because I can see the sprites that I implemented 19 hours ago. Maybe I didn't push my changes, but I certainly pushed them this morning. But 17 hours ago, Yozia had made the testing branch without the sprites. But then if I merge the branches, then because the sprites weren't affected, why are they gone? I don't get it.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
And now I have a confession to make. The clip of me being tired that I showed earlier, well, it wasn't the whole story.
I feel like shit today. We went out for my dad's birthday last evening, and then at night my allergies were acting up, so I was basically just laying in bed trying to breathe, like...
Yeah, allergies. Of course, the one time I go out, I catch the virus. So I'll just let the level art footage play in the background while I bring you up to speed. I was basically knocked out for 5 days, and we had made our bedroom into the quarantine room. Joseph, meanwhile, slept in the office on the couch so he wouldn't catch corona. And when I was feeling better, he brought me my computer so I could set up a little office in our bedroom.
I finished the first draft of the trailer today. I'm still gonna tweak a lot of the transitions, and then I also need to swap out the world map because that was broken earlier and it doesn't look like it's supposed to look. It's Wednesday today, and I'm pretty sure I can make those changes tomorrow. So the more interesting thing is, can we get the developer interview done in this week? Yeah, I'm hoping I can do that tomorrow. I have the camera and the tripod and everything I need here. We wrote a little 2-sentence thingy that I'm gonna say. But yeah, then we'll have everything for Wholesome Direct done, and
we really waited until the last minute to film the developer interview so I wouldn't sound as sick on camera. This Friday was the last day to do it.
Welcome to quarantine zone. And we still need to do the developer interview, so I haven't really figured out what a good backdrop would be. I kind of like this setup because it's not a white wall. This would be the alternative, just my face in the white void, and I think that looks shit. The only other backdrop that I have is the door with the thermostat. Ta-da! Ta-da! I sound like shit. So yeah, to kind of end this video on a positive note, right now I plan to record the developer interview, which is just 10 to 20 seconds of me talking and just basically saying hi. And once we have that, then we can fill out the form for Wholesome Direct, and then that chapter will also be closed. And I think then it's just like the last chunk of development from going from this Wholesome Direct build to actually finishing the game. And I'm very excited, but I also can't wait to get it done. Yeah, I think that's the video.
Hello, this is outro Simone here to kind of give you a conclusion to the whole Wholesome Direct story. Showed the trailer, we got a bunch of new wish lists. The event itself was really awesome. It was like a really cool live stream. I think the next couple of videos are gonna be focused more on like specific parts of development, so and less like all-rounder, chaotic, whatever this was. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye!